Guys, it's Fonzie with DipYourCar.com, world famous peelable auto paints, and today we are doing a full step-by-step tutorial video on how to dip your truck. This guide is going to cover everything from washing your truck, prepping it, masking it, spraying your truck, the breakdown, and even some aftercare tips. So stay tuned, we have a lot to cover. Enjoy the video. So here is the truck we'll be working on today. Now, dipping your truck is very similar to dipping your car in a lot of ways. You follow the same process for the most part, but there are some specific differences, and we'll cover all of those in today's video. But first things first, before you do any prep or masking, you have to thoroughly wash your truck. Now, we make that very simple because every Pro Car Kit includes a 4-ounce bottle of the pre-wash in the kit. This is the wash you're going to be using on your truck. Make sure you remove any dirt, contaminants, or debris off the surface of the truck. That will make sure that the dip can properly bond to the surface without any problem. So a thorough wash with the pre-wash from head to toe, and then just as important, make sure the truck is completely bone dry. Moisture and dip do not mix well at all. So the theory is you wash your car completely and then you give it a full 24 hours to dry before you actually start the masking and prep process. So let's start talking about that masking process right now. Now, as far as masking a truck, there's a lot of similarities between masking a truck and masking a car. For a lot of these areas, you're going to mask them the same way you would mask a car. So for example, the front grille, the headlights, taillights, windows and window trim, the windshield, the side mirrors, the door handles, all of these are masked in the same way that you would mask a car. But there are some distinct differences here with a truck. For example, the wheel wells here. The truck is a lot higher up, so there's a lot more space to cover properly here on your wheel wells, as well as the bed of the truck, of course, and that space in between the bed and the cab. All these areas need to be masked properly. So let's take a closer look at some of those different areas that you won't find on a car. So as I mentioned, trucks are going to have a lot more wheel well space that needs to be covered. Instead of just using our standard canvas wheel masking bags, first of all, those bags only work up to about 20 or 21-inch wheels, and with the tires on most trucks, those bags just aren't going to cut it. So what we did here is utilize brown packing paper, and we actually used that paper to completely surround and enclose the entire wheel and tire area, and then we stuffed it back in and around the entire wheel well all the way up to the edge of the body here. So if you look around every angle, you want to make sure that there's no space for overspray to creep in. We want to completely protect the wheel, the tire, the brakes, the suspension, and the inside body of the truck. Take your time because an area like this is going to take a little bit more time and effort than it would on a car, but it's really important to get it done right. So here we are at the gap between the cab of the truck and the bed of the truck. Now this is where you have to make some decisions because really the only perfect or correct way to do this would be if you're a body shop and you're actually removing the bed of the truck from the cab and spraying them differently before you put them back together. But chances are if you're a DIY customer, you don't have the ability to remove the bed of your truck, so you got to do the best you can with what you got. And that's again where you have a decision to make. You have two main options here. The first is what we've done here. You're going to decide how far back you want to go and then create a barrier using either foam or rolled up packing paper like we've done here, and we went about 4 or 5 inches back and rolled up that paper and slid it down and covered it with some blue masking tape, and now we won't have any dip or overspray go any further back beyond that barrier. Now that's going to make for the easiest cleanup and peeling when it's time to remove the dip off the truck. However, depending on the color of your truck and the color you're dipping it, and of course how long you're leaving it on there, you may decide that you don't want to create that barrier because visually, if you look in that gap, you'll be able to see a difference between the OEM color and the color you dipped it. In that case, you're not going to create a barrier at all, and as you're doing your coats, you're just going to make the spray fan on the gun smaller, and you're going to feather the dip into that gap so that visually you can't see any transition between the OEM and the dip. Now you can still get the dip off at that point, but it's going to take a little bit longer with a little bit more effort. What you're going to do at that point is take a bottle of dip dissolver and a power washer, and you're going to actually spray the dip dissolver in the gap to make sure you saturate any of the overspray that you got back in there, and then dip dissolve it off. Again, either way will work. It's really up to you on how you want to do it. We chose to use the barrier method, and that's something you can do too. Now it's time to mask the bed of the truck. Now this isn't difficult, but there's a lot of surface area that needs to be covered here, so you're going to be using some larger scale masking materials. Now we chose to use, again, a combination of that brown masking paper and the tape and drape, which is essentially plastic sheeting that has tape attached to it. You can get that at DipYourCar.com if you need it. All you're going to do is go from the front all the way to the back, side to side, and make sure you cover all of the surface area. Don't leave areas of the bed open and assume that you're only spraying the outside, because trust me, that overspray will roll over into the bed of the truck, and you want to make sure that you cover everything. Now, one thing that can be extremely helpful when dipping a truck is to take a look at the truck and see if there's any accessories on there that you may be able to easily remove before completing the masking process. So a perfect example is this truck has these step bars here along the sides. Now, if we were going to mask on and around them, it'd actually take quite a bit of time to get that done properly. However, just a couple of bolts underneath and this step bar can be removed off. That way we can just cleanly mask underneath and it'll save us a bunch of time. Don't go overboard. Don't start ripping things off the truck if you don't know how to take them off or put them back on. But if there's accessories that can be removed, it'll definitely save you some time. Now, one thing's for sure, when you're putting your masking materials in the bed of your truck, make sure they're laying flat, because I don't know about you, but I'm not tall enough to actually spray and reach the roof of the truck without being in the bed of the truck. Now, every truck's going to be different. Some people may be using ladders or scaffolding. I mean, you're going to have to get creative there. For me, to spray the roof of the truck, I plan on being in the bed of the truck. It'll be the very first thing I spray every coat, and I'm just going to be leaning over the truck here and getting my coats done. We also have some yellow masking tape running down the rubber trim up here as well, and everything is ready. So again, when you put the masking in the bed of the truck, remember you're going to be probably stepping on it to get the roof done as well. So once you finish with the masking process and we just double checked everything is ready to go, it's time to prep the surface with your pre-dip spray. Pre-dip spray comes in every Pro Car kit. You grab your microfiber towel and you start to wipe down all of the exposed OEM paint. Anything that's going to get dipped, you want to wipe it down with pre-dip. We like to do 2 trips around the vehicle. The second trip, just in case we missed any spots on the first trip. Be very thorough and very careful, and then we're going to move on to the spraying. Now the truck is going to be dry to the touch after just an hour or two, but it's always a good idea to let the vehicle dry overnight before you get it out on the road. Now one thing we do to every dipped car before it hits the road is we give it a quick treat with Dip Coat protective spray. If you've ever dipped a car before, you know that Dip Coat goes a long way, and it doesn't take much. Just a quick mist on the panel, and then you just rub it in with a microfiber towel. Don't use too much, and you just go panel by panel. It really does an excellent job protecting your dipped vehicle from things like marring, scratching, and staining. So once we finish dip coating the vehicle, it's ready to go. So we finished up with the truck and it looks awesome. Onyx Black is the perfect color for a truck like this, in my opinion. Could not be happier with the way that it came out. Now, dipping your truck is a big project, but it's something almost anybody can do with a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. Now, if you want to dip your truck, it's super simple. Just click right up here. It'll bring you to our pre-built Pro Car Kits. It includes everything you need in order to dip your truck, all the gallons, the sprayer, and all of the accessories, and there are hundreds of colors for you to choose from. And remember, this is Onyx Black, so if you want to replicate this one, choose the Onyx Black Pro Car Kit. Once you're in the kit and you choose the color you want, all you have to do is select the size of the vehicle. For a truck, it's most likely going to be the extra large version, and you're done. You just put it in your cart and you have everything you need. Now, if you need any additional help with any of the other things like masking or stuff like that, there's more tutorial videos in the description box below that get a little bit deeper into some more specific tasks. But if you need any help at all, email us, CustomerService@DipYourCar.com, chat with us directly on the website, or please call in. Our reps love to speak to you guys to get you any questions answered. Make sure you have all the information you need. It's Fonzie. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have fun dipping your truck. I'll see you on the next one.